Hello everyone, welcome to this guideline video on how we can conduct an effective peer review system. You are here because you have at least one enrolled course that involves peer review as one of the TLAs or teaching and learning activities. In this video, we will briefly discuss what peer review is, what are the goals, and how do we properly conduct the peer review. Let's begin. We first identify peer review as a learning process that uses constructive feedbacks to improve writing, expression, and comprehension. In this system, you will be asked to evaluate the work of some of your peers, and in return, some of your peers will also evaluate your work. This results to comments and feedbacks coming from different people that hopefully will help you improve your writing and understanding of the lesson. The comments that would come from you would also allow you to exhibit a higher form of learning as you are essentially teaching about the topic. You are indirectly teaching someone, which in a way forces you to learn the topic. Furthermore, peer review allows us to bypass the usual linear student to instructor feedback mechanism, creating more parallel avenues for learning. However, we have to do the peer review properly for this to work. Okay? So before we discuss the guidelines, let us first take a look at the process of a random double-blind peer review which we will use in this class. Peer reviewers are assigned at random by the system and you will not know who are evaluating you. Your peers would also not know who evaluates them, thereby removing some bias in the evaluation. The process starts with you submitting your paper in response to a requirement. That paper of yours will be reviewed by 3 of your classmates, each of them giving you valuable feedback for your work. In turn, 3 other classmates of yours submits their papers for you to evaluate. You are now giving them your constructive criticisms in your evaluation. This process is applied for everyone in the class such that everyone reviews 3 papers and gets comments from 3 peers. All of these are randomly and anonymously assigned. If we try to visualize that process, we have here a map of the flow of information. Each student represents a circle and look at the information exchange map. There is no defined pattern because everything is assigned in random. We are forming an intricate but beautiful mess of idea exchange. This is exceptionally beautiful because the individual activity of answering questions actually becomes a class effort where everyone helps everyone becomes better at understanding the topic. This is where our individual differences and individual writing styles come into play. We are utilizing our differences to our advantage, which is a good thing. This peer review system highlights an important part of teaching and learning, and that is your thoughts and your inputs always matter. The most important thing that you have to consider in the conduct of peer review is that we are one big team and we have one goal, which is to learn. Always remember that this is not just about any one of us. It is about all of us working together to learn. As such, we all have to follow some guidelines to ensure that we carry our own weights for the team. Let's start with the 5-step process that we will always use whenever there is an activity that requires peer review. The steps are submit, evaluate, comment, read, and reflect. First, submit your answers. Second, evaluate your peers' answers. Third, comment on your peers' works. Fourth, read the comments on your work. And finally, reflect and apply their comments to your future work. This process ensures that we are fully taking advantage of the system to continually improve our skill and ourselves. Let's dig deeper into the first step, submitting your answers. If the activity is not your first peer review, make sure to incorporate the previous comments on your work. Refer to the last step for the self-improvement step. Do not prolong your answers. Get to the point immediately without leaving out important information. Or as we say, keep it short but sweet. Do not give a very short answer that lacks crucial information because there is a very fine balance between giving the required information and keeping the word count tolerable. Always remember that a long answer is not necessarily a good answer. On the other hand, a well-structured and well-thought-of answer is a good answer. Next, evaluating your peers' answers. In our peer review activities, you will be giving two types of inputs for your peers, a numerical grade and a comment on their answer. The numerical grade that you will give will have an effect on the grade of your classmates on the activity. Make sure that your given grade is indicative of your written comments. For example, you cannot give a perfect grade if your comment indicates that the given answer is lacking. Don't worry for the grading part because you will be given a scoring scale with rubrics, and that is provided in the evaluation program in our Blackboard class. Another reminder is you should give grades objectively because we want the grades to reflect the actual performance of your peers. To make sure that there are no abuses in the system, I will routinely perform a random check on the evaluations and I can overturn unrealistic grades. Next is commenting on your peers' works. This is separate from the previous step because in this part, you will be giving the feedback to your classmates. You will type your comments on a designated box for your peers to read. I want you to keep your comments constructive. Always remember that we are supposed to lift each other up. If there is something wrong with the answers, gently point out the wrong points. Also, you should make your comments specific. Your classmates need to know where he or she is correct and where he or she is wrong. You can compare their answers with your answers on the specific question. You can take inspiration from some of these samples of comments that start with the compliments and then gently emphasizing the shortcomings. I commend you on the way you discuss your answer, but I must disagree on some of your points, such as state your points. That's a good point. I would recommend adding state what you want to recommend. And finally, I think you miscalculated a part of the exercise. It should be changed to blank. To ensure that we keep good quality comments, I will give grades on how you commented on your peers' works. This encourages you to keep your comments articulate, helpful, and constructive. So keep in mind that you are being graded on your answers and you're also being graded on the way on how you comment on your peers' answers. Next, reading comments on your work. After commenting on your peers' works, you now have the opportunity to read their comments on your work. You need to read those comments. Please keep an open mind when reading the comments. You may not be able to see where you are lacking because of a natural bias to favor ourselves. You can also dispute comments if you feel that they are not constructive or helpful at all. Let me know immediately if you get inappropriate comments on your work. Rest assured that offensive or degrading comments are not tolerated and will be punished accordingly. Finally, we have the last step, reflecting and applying comments to your future work. Remember the purpose of peer reviews. Ultimately, we want to improve ourselves. Take advantage of the constructive feedback that you received to think, write, and express better next time. Keep this in mind. Our goal is teamwork for enhanced learning. And with that, you are officially ready to start reviewing your peers' works. To close this video, I would like to show you how we aim to enhance learning in this course through multimodal transfer of knowledge. Traditionally, you and your peers directly learn from the presented lesson, and this delivery is one-dimensional only. This is the guided learning offered by our video lessons. To amplify that, we introduce other avenues for learning, such as peer review, thereby maximizing our learning. Join me in fulfilling this promise in this course. Thank you for listening, good luck, and have fun.